Bring this regularly scheduled meeting of the Pueblo West Board of Directors, August 13th, 2025, to order. Bree, could we please have the roll call?
Yes, good evening, Brianne Mignoni, District Clerk. Director Pasternak.
Here.
Director Potter. Here. Director Roberts.
Present.
Vice President Axworthy.
Here.
And President Vickers.
Present. Okay, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. I'd also like to make a note that the agenda that we have before us does not have K3 on there, but the published agenda did. So I'd like to move K3 to the next meeting.
There was an intended purpose for that. There's more discussions, just so that you're all aware, coming, and so we were asked today to take K3 off the agenda. So to make it easier for you all as Board of Directors, I took it off the agenda that's in front of you, so that way you weren't confused.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion to push that to the next meeting and put it on the next agenda.
Approve the agenda?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the agenda with moving K3 to the next meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carries. Next, we'll have the invocation by Mr. Robert Hernandez of the Pueblo West Fire Department.
Well, good evening, board members and guests present. Will you all please bow your head with me, please? Lord, we come before you this evening, thanking you for all you do for us in this community. I pray that this evening, as this meeting is conducted, that you place your loving hand upon it, directing us and giving us the strength to go through this meeting this evening. I also ask, as we go through this year, that you give us the vision and the way you want us to go and the things that need to be done to complete this year. As you do, place the people in the positions that need to get these jobs done and completed. We know you are the provider of all the finances, and we know these projects have a price. So we ask for your provision to complete these jobs. So today, we ask you to place everything in your hands, and we leave in the trusting name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Thank you, Robert. And I want to thank you for doing this every week for us. I appreciate it.
I thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pledge of Allegiance. Let's all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to public comments. Bree, do we have any?
We do. We have 2 public comments that were emailed to me, and then we have 1 in person. The first one was sent to me after our previous board meeting from a Crystal Moreno, and she's a Pueblo West resident. She said, Mr. Snow said in his presentation that the remaining lot, after changing lot lines, would continue to remain marketable even if his proposed business opportunity didn't materialize. A discussion needs to take place with Tiver, or I think she meant River, of the Life Church regarding the shared responsibility of the parking lot, the details surrounding that and defining them. The whole discussion after this concern was raised assumed 50-50. I don't agree that it should be, but they should be in that discussion. Real-time comments, even if on Facebook, are more useful the district than after the fact from email. The public can all participate and our community will be better for it. The comments would all get addressed real-time and we wouldn't have the "did anyone read it" question. Members of our community are more likely to participate when our voice is being heard. I can't drag my special needs kids and other children to a meeting that lasts hours, even if there was room. Imagine, let's say 50% of our community did, you all would cancel the meeting fearing riot. Enable us to participate. It's not that no one cares. Crystal Birchfield.
Thank you.
And then the next one comes from a Charlie Keene, and he's a member of the VFW Post 5812 in Pueblo West, and he's VFW Colorado District 2 Commander. A Purple Heart community is a location that recognizes and honors military personnel who have been wounded or killed in combat by hostile forces. It is a way to honor the sacrifices of those who have received the Purple Heart and their families. I would like to express my appreciation to the Pueblo West Board for approving the flying of a Purple Heart flag on August 7th, 2025. I look forward to having it as a tradition in Pueblo West, Colorado. Respectfully, Charlie Keene. And then we have 1 in person that has signed up, and that's Mr. Joe Mahaney. And he's here in person. and he's located at 159 West Mangrum Court.
Bree, Bree, hello. Could we get those comments in writing?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, the little
you.
green light is on, that means something, I guess. I'm having trouble with the web page. And I guess I should start off by confessing I'm not a real fancy user of computers and home crap and ways to communicate with ether. But at any rate, I tried going on the website this morning to get the agenda, and I did get it. Then I clicked on something that was in the order of the board packet or the packet, whatever. I clicked on that, and they kept saying you have to download it. So I downloaded it, and they said, well, it's not available yet to be downloaded. And that was this morning about 8 o'clock. So I didn't get a chance to really study what's going to go on tonight. But that's neither here nor there. The thing that I also tried to find, which I couldn't find at all, was the video of the meeting a week or so ago of the swimming pool or whatever. And so I'm going to have to rely on my memory. Part of the presentation, as I recall, we had in months past $2 or $3 million allocated for the swimming pool or the aquatic center or the downsized or whatever it's going to be. That didn't seem too clear at that time either. Then there was a presentation that they found $3.5 million that had been allocated for capital expenditure, which they decided were going to move over into the swimming pool account, so now they came up with a $9 million total. The thing that bothered me about that, I didn't remember hearing why that $3.5 million or whatever that account was that was just identified as capital spending budget. What did it come from? What was it allocated for? And now that we're going to spend it on a swimming pool or an aquatic center or a downsized aquatic center, are we robbing Peter to pay Paul? What is not going to be spent as a capital project so that we can divert that funds? So that's
Okay,
And-
I'll start off with my idea, and then I'm gonna let Christian, can you pull up the, that budget document that we had, or the document that you showed during that presentation that shows the amounts that were allocated towards the aquatic center?
I can. We are in public comment right now. I don't know if you're trying to transition to director's comments.
Oh, I was just trying to answer his
You
question.
wanna- Okay. I don't know if I can do it on.
Okay, that's fine. And we can go to director's comments if you'd like, and then I can bring it up then.
Sure.
I was just going to give him a quick answer. The part of that, Mr. Mahaney, was because we don't have streets and roads anymore, that freed up some capital. Correct?
That is a correct statement, but that's not where that capital comes from. I
thought some of it did.
could. You want to just open up
Yeah.
director's comments? And let
Yeah,
me
we'll
speak first?
go to director's comments.
Let's
Go
do
ahead.
that. I'm sorry. So Christian J. Hine, district manager. Real quick, I did go to the agenda on our website. I think we can, he's over there. Fair enough. We can probably be able to show how to download the packet. It is available for the public. And then for what we went over last week during Wednesday, we broke down the capital project fund budget. The first $3 million that you were referring to, Mr. Mahaney, was generally the restricted and committed funds that have been carried from year to year or built up year to year. That second $3 million that you mentioned within that is a combination of previously assigned funding within the capital project fund to the aquatic center, and that it was made up of as you recall, probably the payments or the transfers that are made in duplication based on the Tabor excess expected and then the correction for the Tabor XX actual. It still is in the capital project fund available for it, and it can be signed by the board of directors in addition to any unassigned funding, to your point of the streets and roads and the capital project funding that had previously been for capital projects and streets and roads, but when 2023 occurred, those projects did not come to completion. So that is the additional one that makes up about $3 million excess. And then there's the additional funding from the 2024 audit, bringing it to a total of $9 million. Those numbers were broken down as part of previous conversations with the previous board, minus the 2024 Tabor of about 1.8 million. And then it's going to be a decision for this board to actually assign those remaining funds in the capital project fund to come up with that final 9 million. They're not being taken from other projects at this time. It could be a decision or a recommendation or proposal from the board to assign that funding to something else, but they're not being taken from a different project at this time.
Right. So, and the other thing I'd like to reiterate is that this board has not appropriated or decided how much money to spend on the recreation facility, on the aquatic center, although that money is potentially available. It hasn't been allocated for that purpose. We still have some work to do.
Not all of it.
Thank you, Joe.
It's good to see you, Joe.
Did you hear and understand that, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You got anything to add? Since we're on the aquatic center, have we got any soil samples yet?
I don't think we've completed that yet, no.
Okay.
I'll follow up.
So we'll move now to director's comments, correct? Mr. Pasternak?
Sure. So maybe a question, what I would like to at some point discuss is overall direction, vision for the Metro District. So I know that people have discussed in the past the potential of incorporation. I've heard people talking about annexation to go a total opposite direction. So I would like to set up maybe a work session or something on discussing the vision and future of Pueblo West.
I'm here now. So I can share, we have been wanting to do during a work session, the conversation about a mid-year report, which will include the strategic plan and discussing that, which contains some of those elements. It does not contain anything that the previous board set out about incorporation or concerns about annexation. It can still be part of that conversation as we reach it, but that should give you the mission, vision, the values of the district, along with those priorities and our plan for the 5 years. And then we can probably launch into another conversation about it. And that was supposed to be this past Friday. We are going to do it at the next work session, which would be, I believe, the 22nd of August. 22nd.
Okay, thanks. That's it.
Director Roberts.
Potter?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. First of all, I want to apologize to the public for the cancellation of Friday's work session. We had some electronic administrative errors, and we're all human. Things happen. So with that, I just want to apologize to the public that session did not go off as intended. And the other thing is I want to encourage everyone online to utilize their First Amendment rights, and at the same time be courteous and respectful in their conversation, not only to the public but to the board members and the employees while doing so. And please feel free to come down here and express yourself in person. Thank you.
Ryan.
All right. So I just have a few things. I spoke with a business owner and current president of the Rotary Sunday, I believe it was. And he just mentioned a few concerns, mainly regarding collaborative partnerships with local nonprofits and businesses involving events that the Metro District hosts, whether it be concerts, activities, donations, like the pumpkin giveaway. Some of the concerns involve taking business away from our local businesses. I don't know if there's a way to combat that. Maybe if we sell tickets to an event, we involve businesses to offer up coupons or something that they can get when they buy their ticket, and then they can go use that coupon elsewhere just to promote business activity in Pueblo West. Not sure. We didn't get into that discussion. Also raised the question whether or not the Rotary or other local and community-focused organizations could host or be part of a special presentation process on our regularly scheduled board meetings, which I thought was a great idea. Christian, they would like you to join Rotary and attend the meetings. I guess they're Friday mornings. So putting that out there. And the rest I'll cover during the committee update for the Pueblo West Chamber. Thank you.
Director Potter, have you got anything? Okay, thank you. Couple things I wanted to mention is I have been working on an idea in regards to the aquatic center, which I will hopefully be able to present at the next meeting. I'm in favor of building the pool and an indoor pool of some sort, and I think I just want to stir the conversation to other ideas that will bring about that facility, possibly for less money and faster. So hopefully I'll have that next meeting. Also, in regards to the soil sample, I think we need to push hard to get those done. There shouldn't really be any, it shouldn't be a big issue to get those done before the end of the year. I think that was what was stated at the meeting. And unless, do those have to go out to bid? Those are less, the cost of that is less than what has to go out to bid, isn't it?
At least so. I think we're in the quote range, under 30,000, above 3,500. I'm just not aware of the status. It may be already procured, so I'll follow up.
At any rate, push on that. So, other than that, that's all I've got to say at this point. Next, we will have the introduction of new employees. Jessica Pankey, our Human Resources Director.
All right. Good evening, President Vickers, fellow members of the board. I am here to introduce our employees that we hired in July, which was one. His picture is up there for you. He was unable to attend tonight, but his name is Dale Karkin. He was hired on July 7th as a maintenance operator. He comes to us with over 20 years of experience in construction, maintenance, and heavy equipment operations. And most recently held the position of a maintenance technician for Norman's Quality Construction. So we welcome him to the team. He's been working on a lot of mowing lately, so hopefully you're seeing that going on.
Good deal.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we'll move into special presentations, and the first up is PACOG Long Range Transportation Plan presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Let me get an extra one so I can pass it on to Director Potter later. Thank you.
For anyone interested in these, I have left some on the table outside to present as you leave. Just waiting for a presentation to come up. No worries.
Yeah, you start and then it'll come up.
So I guess a quick introduction. My name is Dylan Goodman. Thank you for having me. I am the transportation planner for the Pueblo Area Council of Governments Metropolitan Planning Organization. For those unfamiliar with what that is, the Metropolitan Planning Organization has been tasked with regional transportation planning, effectively trying to make sure that the county and the city and all of the little municipalities within the Pueblo County borders maintain a coherent transportation policy that doesn't lead to contradictory investments or priorities. Today I'm going to be talking to you about our long-range transportation plan. Now, what this plan is a plan that looks 25 years out in the future, tries to look at the region's economic, social, and specifically traffic investments, and try to look at what investments we are able to make, can be expected to make, and what existing gaps in our transportation system needs to be addressed to deal with growing traffic problems, existing traffic problems, or as has become more and more of a priority, safety of all roadway users, from drivers to pedestrians to cyclists. This is a plan that is required under federal regulations and is used by the federal government and the state government to help with the grant awarding process. It is very important when our local jurisdictions pursue transportation-related grants that their projects show up on the long-range transportation plan, as that helps to show that it isn't something we invented purely to get money, that it was a pre-existing need that we've identified. We, in addition, have a short-range plan known as the Transportation Improvement Program. This is a annually to biannually updated document that helps to keep track of all of the money and resources that are coming into the region. This has on it the Civic Center Park project. It has the Medal of Honor Boulevard project, among many other projects that are both done by the state on their roadways, as well as local projects for Pueblo West, county, city. And it is very important that capital projects be included in the TIP, as this is what the state and the federal government looks at before distributing funding. So if a project doesn't show up on the TIP, it, generally speaking, will not have access to the funding that it has been awarded. I'm currently on slide 3, but moving to slide 4. So a project overview for the long-range transportation plan. We are currently undergoing our public and stakeholder engagement, as I'm speaking here. And this is going to be in a few waves. We have our project website currently up, and a part of that process is a digital survey that I will talk about in a bit, and an interactive map that I will also talk about in a bit. We are also engaging focus group meetings, specifically prioritized right now on active transportation users and youth in the Pueblo County area, to make sure that we are meeting their transportation needs. And we are going to actually we have a booth set up at Pueblo Pride this year in order to us and our consultants, Bohannon and Houston, will be trying to engage the public in a very direct, open, and transparent manner. We are currently undergoing a review of our existing documentation, making sure that we are updating all of the data, goals, information, socioeconomic expectations that we had from our 2045 long-range transportation plan that we developed 5 years ago. We are also ensuring that we are meeting the state greenhouse gas conformity rule. All of our models have shown that we will meet the state's GHG goals, so we believe we are clear on that. And finally, around the time of April, you can expect to see us drafting our final deliverables of the 2050 long-range transportation plan. So on our website, we have an interactive map that lets users select a PIN, kind of choose a general priority of what they are using their PIN for. Maybe it's a safety issue, a speeding issue, a connectivity issue, a active transportation issue, and then put it on the specific location they are talking about and leave a comment. This is a very important tool that helps us identify safety gaps, transportation gaps, and needs that we may not otherwise be able to discern purely from a bird's eye view of our transportation system. We also have a survey that That date is actually wrong. We recently, because we are signed up at Pride, we've extended the survey date to late August, the end of August, before it will close. We had a pop-up event a few weeks back at Sangre de Cristo Art Center in July, and our second pop-up event will be at Pueblo Pride this coming weekend. So this is the construction of, sorry, I lost myself. This is the construction of kind of how our projects on our long-range transportation plan will end up building into the how this planning will affect project prioritization. So the first step in that process is project identification. So this uses the feedback we get from our public engagement as well as priorities that have been given to us by local departments to make sure that we basically have all of our list of projects, all of the data we need, and we use our models to forecast what future transportation demand is going to look like. Then we take the public input we have to help establish our vision, make sure we understand what the goals of the regions are, any project-specific feedback we might have, and make sure that we have all of the needs of the focus groups that we are seeking input from. From here, we will refine the rough project list that we've been given using the goals and priorities given to us by the public to make a set of criteria that we can then use to examine our project list and rank them based on how they contribute to the established goal and vision of our region. From there, we will go through a prioritization phase where we will bring our project list to the Transportation Advisory Committee that helps advise the Council of Governments on regional transportation issues. We will establish performance measures through which we can, again, kind of gauge projects and their success, and we will set our metrics along the regional and statewide targets that have been adopted over the years. And finally, we will work with our local jurisdictions to pursue federal and state and local funding opportunities to help make sure that these new projects are able to get off of the ground and from our long-range transportation plan and ideally into our transportation improvement program. If you would like to find out more, we have a website, paycogmovestheregion.com. This will have more information, a way to contact us, and easy access to the surveys and interactive map that I've previously talked about, as well as any future events that we might have, although we currently don't have any planned outside of this weekend's. And if you have any additional questions other than any you might have tonight, this is our key contacts: my supervisor, Eva Cosolian, the MPO manager, myself, the transportation planner, and Derek Webb, who is the project manager from Bohannon Houston, our contractors. That's all. Thank you very much.
I have a few questions. On your flyer here and in your presentation, your acronym, PAYCOG, can you identify each letter with a word?
Pueblo Area Council of Governments.
Okay. And in your presentation, especially 2 slides back, where you had a breakdown of the projects, public input and everything, you got acronyms on there, but there's no explanation of all those. I mean, CDOT, we could say that's self-explanatory. Colorado Department of Transportation maybe, but not everybody knows that. So you're talking to us, we're representing the public needs to know exactly what you're talking about, rather than just talking in your level of expertise that goes above their heads. They're gonna shut us down and go watch Netflix or Prime Video, okay? I want them to be engaged, okay? So more definition into the acronyms and explanation of each of those areas would be appreciated in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your feedback.
So, Dylan, can you talk about that map again? The interactive one? as far as, so if I'm driving down the road and I interact with a bad road or something,
You can make a mental note of it, and please do not use this map while driving, of course.
Sure, yeah.
I was waiting
but-
for that.
That's the safety warning, right?
Yes. But yeah, you can make a mental note of it. You can then go on to the map, find the roadway or the area that you're talking about, place a pin, and one of the very important things is, of course, system reliability and the state of our transportation system. And so especially if a road is in poor condition, that is a very important thing for us to be aware of.
So if I label a road as bad or whatever, I say there's a giant pothole that's eating cars alive or something, where does that go?
That would go, so it would stay on the map, and that would be data that we can then kind of draw on earlier, especially if it's a pothole or it's a more immediate issue. That might be something that we then redirect to if
Public
it's
Works.
a public works. But if it is a more systemic issue, or maybe we've seen a lot of issues with speeding or safety on a road, we then might highlight that corridor as needing additional investment that might be outside of the scope of a simple reconstruction or maintenance.
So I mean, this is interesting. I got an email from a resident at Pueblo West. I think we all did. I think right before the meeting, the guy just mentioned something about needing some sidewalks on Purcell Boulevard between
Yes.
Joe Martinez and Hans Peak. So could he go on this map and label that?
Mm-hmm. He could label it as a pedestrian connectivity issue.
And then that would go to you guys
And it would, again, all of this data will of course be shared with our local partners, so Public Works and Pueblo West, of course. And it will, what will happen is then we'll kind of work with our partners to develop a more concrete project out of the issue and see how that project fits onto our vision plan of what the next 25 years of projects looks like. But it also functions as a mechanism to help bring attention to issues that, because we solely operate on a planning level, we do not have, we are not involved in the construction and maintenance of the transportation system. It also operates as a mechanism for us to go to our local partners and say, hey guys, this is an issue that we found highlighted. Is there anything you can do in the immediate sense, or is there a greater project here that we could start working on?
Do you guys have access to like maybe grant writers or anything like that you could tap into? And
City and county each have their own grant writers for their own project, and we often provide support for city and county in their projects, or when Pueblo West has come to us for active transportation grants, such as the Civic Center Park was through us, or the Civic Center Park Trail was through us. We will help them with grant writing or information or data gathering to really support them in the grant process.
okay, cool.
Oh,
Thanks.
my goodness.
So my second question was in regards to the interactive map also. You explained a little bit more to Director Pasternak, and I appreciate that. At the same time, is there like a tab or a button on the webpage where you can report a road in a specific area and pull up that interactive map and just point and click, and then have a drop down off of that says pothole, uneven cracks in the road, okay, or whatever, okay, or huge segmentations in the road? I mean, is there like a tab or anything to choose from?
Yes, so if you go to the interactive map, and I don't know if y'all can do this on your end or if that might be outside of the scope of this, but when you click add marker, which is that tiny little green button on the side right over there.
Okay.
That should bring up a panel that will kind of let you select specific issues to color in the marker you place down. And then it will also have a comment box that will let you go into more detail on what the issue might be outside of the more generalized selections that we've provided.
Okay. Thank you.
Director Potter, do you have anything?
Can I get that internet address again, please?
Oh, the internet address, the address to the website?
I'm gonna drop it off at his house.
We'll have a flyer for you.
I'll drop it off at your house, Rodney.
All right, appreciate it.
Excellent.
Yes, I'm actually on the interactive map right now, putting in a pin for Purcell. Seems to be fairly easy to use. Hit submit. I put in a pin for sidewalks or trails along Purcell. So I have a few questions. So I see a lot of pins for Pueblo, and now one for Pueblo West. So I would tell everybody to really get involved in this thing, and let's mark up Pueblo West as much as we need to improve the roads and our infrastructure. Second question, that really wasn't a question. Second question, who is on the transportation committee that decides the project importance?
The Transportation Advisory Committee is made up of two primary groups. The Transportation Technical Committee, which is largely made up of professional representatives from our local partners, including Sean Winters sits on the Transportation Technical Committee. And there is the Citizens Advisory Committee. Additional members include City of Pueblo. For the Transportation Technical Committee, the City of Pueblo, County Public Works, and County Parks and Recreations, Pueblo West Metro District through Sean Winters, the airport has a seat on it, and I believe those are the primary members, voting members. Each city and county each have 2 members allotted to them. Pueblo West has their member, and then the airport has their representative. The Citizens Advisory Committee has 1 at-large member, a representative from the Pueblo Active Community Environments, a representative allotted to them from PEDCO, and a representative from, sorry, I have another transportation that goes into detail on this. I'm having to do this off of memory. And the ADA Advisory Commission sits on the Citizens Advisory Committee. And then also Colorado City has a member who sits on the Transportation Technical Committee.
Okay. Is any of that made up of, is census data used to decide how many committee members should be on the committee and represent each area? Just so there's a fair allotment of input?
The technical committee isn't based off of census data. It's far more based off of just, the general representatives and kind of their level of responsibility to the transportation system in the region. And then the Citizens Advisory Committee is used more to highlight focus groups who may get kind of lost in the more general driver-oriented perspective, just to really kind of highlight other transportation users' voices. But largely the makeup of the commission is decided through our bylaws, and our bylaws are under the observation of the Council of Governments.
Gotcha, okay.
I can also add to that, I think when they did it, and this was multiple years ago, maybe 2021, 2022, they, I think, did a bylaws revision in which they were identifying members, and at the time, I believe requested 2 members for Pueblo West, and I think there was a conversation. I don't remember what the deciding factor was for it, but I know we had a conversation about it, and I think it was representative of probably the needs based on the total Pueblo County, obviously the size of the city of Pueblo, and then the size of Pueblo West.
Technically, I guess we'd have to with county being on there. Public Works, but yeah, okay. Next question, does this committee work on drainage issues that continually deteriorate road quality in the area? I don't remember seeing a PIN option for that.
It is sometimes brought to our attention, but stormwater tends to get relegated to the local agencies and their responsibilities. It tends to kind of fall out of the purview directly into transportation planning.
So as I understand it, drainage and stormwater are 2 separate things. I think Christian has trained me well on that. So, and the drainage issue, that's a high dollar expense. That's not something that a small metro district can afford on its own, I don't think, without some help. So is it possible to have that conversation?
It is possible to have that conversation. From what I've seen, kind of just being in this position, generally drainage has been addressed in tandem with other projects, but not necessarily been brought forward as a specific project priority. However, that is just what I've seen in my years in this position, and heaven knows that almost certainly can change.
Okay. Yeah, the county commissioners and us have had conversations about how the drainage deteriorates the roads, and if we don't fix the drainage, then the road issue will never improve itself, right? So prior to spending a lot of money on roads, we should probably figure out the drainage in lieu of. Last, just from a planning standpoint, as we start looking at placing all these pins, how many years does it typically take to see a project to fruition from request to completion? If at all.
50.
Yeah. But do we need to look ahead 5 years, 10 years, 50 years? I mean, what do we need to?
It is very hard to say, because especially I've noticed in Pueblo, levying local funds to pursue our own projects is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And so we tend to rely heavily on state and federal grants as the primary drivers of our projects. And that can ebb and flow with federal priorities and state priorities.
Gotcha.
And that is just the process, to get a project that's been identified, its funding, and then the actual project management, from concept to construction can be a very long process in of itself. As a planner, I'm not equipped to talk in more detail on it.
Gotcha.
But talking with the your own project engineering project managers or the county project management team would probably be able to answer that question a lot better than I can.
Sorry, just one more. Sorry. It's okay. Was PACOG involved with the Highway 25 Purcell overpass that's supposed to happen? And can we get an update on when that's supposed to happen? I think you might know.
I can't remember if that's where it started for it, but yes, we have an update as part of that strategic plan, and I think that they have the funding for it. They have it allocated for the time. I think they're short, if I remember correctly, on how much money they need for the actual interchange, but we'll provide that update this coming next Friday.
Okay.
You're talking McCulloch?
No.
I-25,
I-25
exit 108.
Oh,
Yeah,
108.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, I have just a couple, maybe. So if I understand this correctly, are you a subsidiary of PACOG, or are you actually the PACOG?
We are a subsidiary of PACOG,
Okay.
and we are nested within the planning department of the city of Pueblo, but we report to the Council of Government, which is made up of representatives from, I believe, Pueblo West, county, city, the school districts, and the Board of Waterworks.
Right. So, how are you guys funded?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
We are primarily funded because we are a federally mandated organization. Urban areas of over 100,000 people will have their own MPO, or if they're within a larger region such as Denver, will kind of then fit into an existing metropolitan planning organization. Denver has DRCOG, the Denver Region Council of Governments. There's the Pike Peaks Area Council of Governments up in Springs. And we are funded through a federal grant program called the Consolidated Planning Action Grant, I believe. And that is a federally allotted down to us as an MPO as our operating funds and planning funds. And then there is a local match that I believe is provided jointly by county and city. And then just for administrative purposes and employment purposes, we're seated within the city.
Okay, so your organization, the members that make up your portion receive input as to projects that need to be completed. How do you determine, is it then just brought to a vote to committee members to proceed with the project? How is it determined what projects get pushed forward? And do you have any, off the top of your head, can you give us a project that you guys spearheaded that came to fruition?
So as for how project prioritization looks and what that process is going to look like, I'm not sure we've fleshed it out yet, because right now we are just in that data gathering phase. And I am limited in that I've only served in this position for about 2 years now, and this is a project, and this is a plan that is done every 5 years. So I'm also going through this for the first time. But for non-long-range transportation plan related call for projects, for instance, the MPO manages the Multimodal Options Fund. As I said, that has funded the Civic Center Trail or the Civic Center Park improvements. The way we've gone about that is we have worked internally to create a set of criteria and goals and kind of ranked and put points towards those. And then we have established a committee made up of generally professional representatives and a few local representatives from the Transportation Advisory Commission. And generally it's distributed a lot more equally to make sure that there is not a over prioritization of any given voice. And we very much push our members to judge each project neutrally, regardless of, their own personal biases that may come with working for the city or working with the county. Because of course our priority is the region as a whole. We try not to prioritize any given area. And so then we will have this selective committee rank the projects, give points to these projects, and then that will kind of be our final scoring. But that is the process I've seen for other funding pools that we've managed. I don't know if that is what we are going to do for the long-range transportation plan.
And then one final one, you mentioned meeting youth transportation needs. How do you envision that happening in Pueblo West?
Well, that is one of the reasons we really want to get that feedback, is so that we know what those barriers, transportation barriers, especially to youth in Pueblo West and to youth in the county, look like, and how we can work with our local partners to mitigate those issues. I know in the city of Pueblo, one of the things we've done is we've helped to fund the Youth Ride Free program on the city of Pueblo transit system, but we are always looking for other innovative solutions that we can use for areas that aren't served by transit.
One last, you mentioned help funding these things. Do you mean help finding grants or finding federal monies or state monies or county monies to do it? The money didn't come from PACOG, did it?
So while our consolidated planning grant can be used to help fund studies, we do have access to a funding pool provided by the state and the state's own levies called the Multimodal Options and Mitigation Fund. And this is our primary mechanism to push forward transportation improvements in a more localized manner than state and federal grant seeking might allow. And so we've used that to fund trail improvements, to help fund transit service expansions, to fund infrastructure improvements. It is it has sadly, our resources in that regard have dwindled due to state budgetary issues, but in the past, that has been one of our primary mechanisms to help our local agencies in between grants.
What's it called again?
The Multimodal Options and Mitigation Fund.
That's all I have. I don't want to grill you too hard. So.
Well, I appreciate all the questions. If you have any more, my contact is on the slide, and you can. There's also a contact us button on our website that this will link to. I very much appreciate your feedback on the acronyms. I will make sure to keep it in mind.
So, MPO, you're talking about a nonprofit organization?
Not nonprofit, we are government.
What's that acronym stand for then?
Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Did you say NPO or MPO?
MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Okay, so it's not really a governmental organization?
It is a governmental organization. It sits in the odd category of regional government organizations because it isn't strictly local government and it isn't strictly county government, but it is a public organization that is beholden to government interest.
So are you paid through the Pueblo government, or do you get your money through the organization?
Our funding is primarily...
No, your salary.
My salary is primarily through the Consolidated Planning Grant because that is our primary operating funds. And then, of course, like I said, there is that local match that's required. So primarily we are funded federally, but we answer to our local governments and our local partners through the...
I'm just curious, you got
Council of
US at
Governments.
the end of the website address, okay? And that is indicative of a government agency, so that's why I was asking. Thank you.
Oh, that is just the email ending that the city of Pueblo uses.
I understand that.
Thank you.
Dylan.
Appreciate it.
Dylan, real quick, one question. The map, when was that? When did you guys start that? The interactive map?
The interactive map in the survey, I believe we made public right before our public event in July.
Okay.
And now we're really
So
trying to put the pedal to the metal and solicit as much public feedback as possible.
Yeah, so it's brand new, basically. Month
Yeah.
old.
That website.
Okay. Thanks.
Can you put it on the Facebook page?
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for taking your time to show up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Dylan.
Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Okay, next we're going to see the Human Resources Department Board Brief. Jessica Pankey. Human Resource Director. And her entourage.
Full chairs, give us a moment. All right, good evening, board. I am Jessica Pankey. I am the Director of HR, and we are here to give you a little update about our department, what we do for, and kind of give you an update on all of that. We'll give you an update on turnover, and we'll also give you a safety update. I'll turn that over to Steve. So first slide there, that's talking about our team. So I am the director. We have a new HR generalist. His first day was Monday. So welcome, Lewis. This is Lewis Feehill. And then Steve McDowell is our safety and risk manager. And then our training and development position is currently vacant, so that is currently reposted, and we're working on refilling that position. So the next slide kind of goes over all of the things that we could think of to kind of show you what we do on a daily basis. So it is that full cycle recruitment from posting a position all the way through if somebody chooses to leave in that termination process. Then we do the full FMLA process. We're in charge of the Human Resources Information System. And so HRIS that you see on there stands for the Human Resources Information System. And then we also do all of, oh, pause, okay, I'll pause. Good, okay.
Thank you, proceed.
Of course, no problem. And then we also do all of the DOT compliance and training for all of that. Performance management for the employees, any training or development that they need, we'll help them do that. Updating job description. So I won't go through everything on there, but that is the majority of what we could think of that we work on a daily basis. So turnover, when I put this together for you, for this year is currently at 11%. I know that might seem a little high. We're in August. It went up just a little bit this week. So unfortunately, we have had 9 terminations this year, and we've had 14 people leave total so far for the year. So that's the year over year. Last year, we were able to keep it under that 15%, which is our goal, is try to be 15% or less. So we'll see what ends up happening with this year. The next slide is comparing turnover by department for last year, 2024, and currently this year for 2025. So kind of tells you bigger departments, fire and utilities, they have kind of the higher turnover. They have a lot more people in those departments, while the others are a little bit on the lower side. And I think next is going to be safety. So I'm going to turn that over to Steve.
Evening, Steve McDowell, Safety and Risk Manager for Pueblo West. So I deal with the insurance, trying to keep our insurance costs down as much as possible. I deal with the injuries and our facility inspections. Currently this year so far we're at a total of 15 injuries, 18 near misses, which is good. I'd rather have a lot more near misses than injuries. We have 12 vehicle accidents or damages and a total of 7 property damages, which is about average for where we were at last year at this time. I think we might be a little bit higher than we were before.
And so that.
Steve, you have a question too?
Yeah.
So in regards to the 15 injuries, do we have anybody on workman's comp over a year?
Over a year? No.
Not currently, no. And last year, nothing, no.
So what's the average length of workman's comp time before the employee comes back?
We try to do our best to give them light duty so that they're still here working, but maybe not doing, if we can accommodate those restrictions.
Light duty and all that stuff?
Yeah, we'll try to do that. So the days off are actually pretty minimal. We could pull a report to see, because we pay for those first 3 days and then work comp picks up. I would say in the last year, we've had a couple, maybe do a couple of weeks, but then they're right back to work.
Have we had any incidences over the years where we had long-term disability awarded to any of the employees?
We have had 1 or 2, yes. I would have to pull the data to know for sure, but I believe there's
Oh, I don't
been
want the
2.
data, I just wanted the information. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, thank you.
Yes.
Just had a question about insurance costs. You mentioned that. So I know we pay a lot of money for insurance in the district, car and liability, I'm sure. So when do you feel that we could start seeing some savings with your efforts that you have in place?
We actually, this year, we're getting a 10% discount. We just got the notification 2 days ago for it.
Awesome.
And it's a district-wide initiative that they did it, the workers did it. We have a safety program that we all do. We have to do a mandatory 2 safety trainings for the year, and we actually did 100% of them this year, so we're getting a 10% discount.
Great. Not quite Geico, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it
No,
helps.
that's
Better
good.
than nothing.
It helps.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
that's great. I
guessing
appreciate
right
that.
now, probably we're gonna see a little increase in our insurance rates again, as we've seen throughout the
Yeah.
the
It's
US.
been crazy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll see a small increase, and then I think probably after next year, we'll start seeing a decrease again. Currently, our EMOD, how we score our injuries, get our workman's comp insurance, we're at about a 0.98. I think it's gonna go up a little bit from a couple injuries we had, but I do believe it's gonna go down, and my goal is to have us down to a 0.83, which is the highest that we have in Pueblo County right now through one of our governments that we work with closely. So I'm
Good job.
challenging our guys to get ours down so that we're below
Saving that
them.
money, yeah.
Save a lot
That's
more
good.
money.
Next question was involving unemployment. So I noticed in the budget reports that unemployment's a little high. Can you shed some light on that?
So new Colorado law requires, of course, we supply that unemployment information. So I do think that it's more known to everybody that they can file for unemployment, so that could be a piece of it. But then there are certain reasons why if somebody was terminated, we fill out this form of like, this is why they left and these sorts of things.
To
There are
defend the
certain
district.
things you actually can't, if you put that they did a certain thing, they will automatically award the unemployment. But I have been trying to attend those meetings to try to fight them when I can.
Yeah, super important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Can you elaborate on the property damage? What type of stuff are we looking at?
That's anything from a line strike to like a power line or a cable that might get hit when our utilities are out digging or mowing operations are happening. The property, I also put like our trailers or trucks, when they get damaged, go under the property side of it.
I think Director Axelrod raised this question early on when the sewage spill happened, whether or not any of that was covered with insurance.
That one's kind of weird the way it's set up. So our sewer line itself is not insured, but what caused the release could be. So right now I'm working with the insurance, and because of the cost, it's at 3 different insurance companies we're dealing with.
Okay.
Right now I'm thinking the lift stations was probably our primary problem, and our lift stations are insured. The lines where it leaked at aren't insured. So they're looking now at our lift stations and the pumps, and if we tie it back to that, hopefully we'll get covered. It's sitting at Aspen Insurance is one of them for the main damage. And then for the trail, we're working on that right now. We're dealing with our local special district insurance and seeing what they're gonna cover on that and how much.
Great. I'm glad that just didn't get dropped. Thank you. I think that's it.
Okay.
Anybody? Rodney, do you have any questions?
Is there any information on the turnover rate on when people leave, or is it just they just happen to move on, or they've gone to other places, or is it disgruntledness or anything like that?
So I think I heard most of that. So I do track reason for leaving. As I mentioned, 9 of the 14 were terminations. So that was us ending that employment relationship. I had 3 resignations and 2 retirements. And the 3 resignations that I've had were like they were moving out of state. I don't think it's been for better opportunities. It's been they're moving or going somewhere else.
I think specifically asked if anybody was disgruntled also.
Oh. Well, I don't think anybody likes being fired, so there are probably a couple that are disgruntled. So yes, unfortunately, there are probably a couple that are upset.
That's a good answer. But when somebody resigns, we don't have to offer them unemployment, do we?
No, if they leave on their own, no.
That's
They can still file a claim.
They can file a claim.
They can still try.
And we can contest, right?
Yes.
And we do.
And I always fight those.
All right. I'm sorry, Rodney, did you have anything else?
No, I just was making sure that if there's any egregious actions or stuff like that, where the employee wasn't able to take care of something, or we weren't able to help mitigate something through a process or something like that. And it just want to make sure we're treating our employees properly as well.
Yes, and anytime I have a situation that might be a little sticky, I always loop in legal and make sure that we're doing everything the legal route, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next is administration board brief by Brianne Magnoni. Close?
You're getting better at it. Good evening, Board of Directors. Bree Mignoni, District Clerk. So tonight I'm just giving a little update. As you all know, I've been here 4 months, so this is on the administration board and the district clerk specifically, and what I've seen so far as coming into this role, things that I've been working on and accomplishing and things I'm working towards. So one of the main things that I worked on is the board election and the onboarding. So of course Katrina Peter did a great job doing the board election and being that delegate, and me getting to shadow her and see how it's going to run for the next time, so that I can step into that role and fill that in the next time that we have an election process. What came through of it was the onboarding with each of our new directors, so bringing everybody in, making sure that each one was able to understand what the overview and organizational chart was of the board, and also for the district as a whole, review the district structure, strategic plan, bylaws, core values, sunshine laws. You all got a wealth of paperwork, and I know that it was a lot of reading material that first few weeks that you were onboarded, and then the presentation of the annual report. Discussion on social media, director conduct, roles and responsibilities, things like that. And then I coordinated introductory meetings of the new directors with the district manager, and then he walked them around and introduced them to department leaders and staff that were in-house. And then I know many of the directors have been meeting individually with other departments as well. Records retention is a big deal for us this year, and I was voluntold about this one, so I was given that, and then I've taken that on, and it's been really actually fun. I like doing this type of thing. So what we're going to be doing is implementing a process in the next year where we're going to go through all of the records that we have in storage that have been there since 1969 as in each of the departments, get everything scanned in that is pertinent and needs to be stored up to the retention span, and then discard properly the things that we no longer need. And then that way we have access to all of the records electronically moving forward, and hopefully get rid of a couple of the storage units to save a little bit of money there too, fiscally responsible. Get rid of those and make sure everything is online as much as possible. It'll just help us with requests that come through, especially with public record requests and things like that as well. So that'll be in 2026. Each of the departments has that as a budget line item that they're preparing for in the next year for storage space with that. Employee engagement, I've been working with the executive leadership team to develop strategies to improve employee morale. I'm one of those that likes to, I guess, be the bubble popper. I like to go and talk to everybody and interject myself, get to know everybody, try to see what I can do to bring everyone together. So we're just doing random things with the executive leadership that we're keeping shush so the other employees don't know, and then we're surprising the other departments with things. So donuts and coffee, things like that. We're trying to just spread that around. We do have our Fall Olympics coming up, so I'm part of the Employee Engagement Committee, and that's next week on the 18th, so we're super excited about that. So it'll be games and fun with the employees. Civic Plus implementation and training. I've had to learn a whole new system, learn how to do the agenda creation, packet preparation, public notices. I've actually been helping train other staff on it, and then also helping ensure that I got you all set up on Civic Plus and train you guys how to use it as well. Professional development, I was already a notary when I came on board, but I received my online certification, so now I can do online notary as well if that's needed for the district or for the board of directors. I'm participating in Action Colorado leadership program right now, and that's focused on governance, legislation, and regional impacts that may affect the district. So that is one that happens twice a month. It's a 2-day training twice a month for 6 months. and then we'll get a graduation certificate from there. Intergovernmental relationships, I'm trying to strengthen our relationships with Pueblo County staff and their administrators. So I used to work with them a lot in my previous roles at other organizations, and so just learning how we can work more together so that it helps the streamline of the process and communication has been very imperative for me. We actually have a meeting this week where we are going to communicate with each other and just see if there's anything coming down the pipe that we need to be involved in. Then county commissioner's offices for key meetings and projects. The budget development and oversight, managing the administration and your board budget is something I'm in charge of. This includes the tracking and forecasting and evaluating the future needs. So like the upcoming election items or ballot initiatives that might come up, those are all things that I have to budget and plan for, looking at what we've spent, what things might come up, and then what can be additional costs that may not be seen that could be on there. Participating in senior leadership and public budget meetings. And then overall, the leadership and strategic role, I'm just trying to expand my leadership presence by engaging with all departments and monitoring legislative developments for potential district impacts and trying to help with proactive responses as much as possible. So I'm learning a lot, I'm engaging a lot, but again, only been here 4 months, but I'm excited to continue to learn and develop myself as a senior leader on the team. I'm open for any questions.
I'd just like to say I think you're doing a great job.
Thank
The
you.
interaction that I've had with you has been very good, pleasant, professional. She does a good job.
I agree.
Thank you, appreciate it.
If you could keep us up to date on the records retention plan. I know this has been a conversation that's been going on for a couple of years, so if not more. So, yeah.
It will be completed in 2026,
I love it.
so I'm
I love
super
it.
excited about it.
Just check it off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Director
you.
Potter, you have any questions?
No, I just want to say thank you for what you've done in 4 months, and you're doing a good job. And I can tell everything's going on. I really appreciate what you've done, and have been on board 3 new knuckleheads.
Speak for yourself.
I think that was in the singular, not plural.
Anyway, I'm just saying, no, I honestly think for everything you've done, we're on board again, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to a presentation for additional Purple Heart recognition. Business Administration Board Brief Update presented by Mr. Matt Lund, the Director of Business Administration. Thanks, Matt.
Try this for Rodney.
Good call.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
All right, good evening, President Vickers, members of the board. For those watching at home that said they could not hear Rodney Potter, we are hopefully going to catch him better off of a live microphone pointed at the speaker. So I'm not looking at your comments anymore right now, but I'll check them again when I'm back in the back row. So, my name is Matt Lund. I'm the Director of Business Administration. This is a newer department to the district, and so we're going to go over the overview of what it is that we do, the team members that we have, and sort of our strategies as we move forward into the future. So we were part of sort of the reorganization of the district that happened in 2024, I believe was the first year that business administration existed as a department. So our offices, all of ours, are at the main building at 63 East Spalding. That is open to the public during hours of business, and we did just recently acquire the building, which means we now had the ability to put in our security features, so anybody can come in and ring the doorbell. We have somebody at the front to let you in and come visit with us. So I have been here in the district for 4 years. I came in as an IT analyst and was able to learn and work with all the department heads over that time and assess their needs. Our mission in business administration, and you'll see it there, is to optimize services to the district and Pueblo West residents through technological accomplishments and improvements, community engagement, and the support of economic development. So the way that our team has operated, again being a newer team, is we're focused highly on collaboration with our other departments, our executive management, and legal counsel and the board of directors as well. We are not necessarily a team that holds on to this is the way we've always done it mentality, and instead we embrace curiosity, asking questions, questioning our answers, learning and optimizing in our roles. We put a focus on cultivating a team of leaders among our team so that we can be a high point within the district and serve all of our fellow departments as well. And we advance the district through strategic and master planning priorities and facilitate the communications that go in between our departments and the individuals within the district. So I wanted to bring this slide up because I think this is a really neat thing that maybe people in the public aren't aware of. When we did this restructure, we have two halves of the district, the administration and the operations. And the operations side there we have, and I'm going to get to why this is relevant to business administration in a second, but we have our fire department, our operational support, our parks and recreation, and our utilities. And one of the unique things about that grouping of departments is that they are representative of what we do through the district's service plan. So these are the services that we provide to the public as required through our service plan. Business administration, we're over on the administration side to the left, and it's ourselves, District Clerk Bree, who you just heard from, finance and human resources. So then within business administration, we have a further separation, and these are the three legs of our stool, and you'll recognize those from our mission statement as well. One leg is the community relations, then the economic development, and information technology. So a little bit of a mixed bag of all sorts of things coming together into one place. So, starting with community relations is led by Brandy Blankenship. She's our community relations manager. She's been with us in the district 6 years. Our community relations mission is to be communicative to the public, to respond to their questions, to provide information when asked, and to be the source of their news policies and community events. One of our hallmarks and something that we're angling towards at all times is to create a well-informed citizenry. That is one of our calling cards that we are constantly driving towards with the decisions that we make. So how do we go about that? You'll see on the next slide a whole lot of different things we do. Through Brandy's work, we do community engagement events. We've had Walk the Trails events where our district manager Christian is there, as well as Carol Cosby, our director of Parks and Recreation. We've had lunch and learn events. We have had open houses that may be topic specific. For example, one similar was a lot of the commentary this evening on the Facebook is about the Tabor timeout funds for the aquatic center. And so we put together an event where we were able to facilitate the dissemination of that information, and we continue to direct people to that information whenever they ask for it. We've also had director roundtables. We've had Director Vickers has just had a few in the last few months, and I believe there's another one scheduled with yourself and Director Potter coming up. Yeah. And those are opportunities for the public to come, engage with you one-on-one or one-on-two, as the case may be, and ask their questions and get answers from the board as well. Community education campaigns are a big piece. One of the elements that I wanted to highlight here, the first one there, is the ATV campaign. And that was a really big topic for us over the last several months. And in case the public's not aware, that was brought to us by you. That was not something that we just said, let's start talking about this. These were comments that we're getting from the public, and we recognized a need. And then we decided to pursue sending that information out. So I do want to pivot in this moment because there was conversation in our public comments and in the chatter this evening about whether or not the comments on Facebook ever get read. And I want to assure everybody we do have somebody monitoring those comments at all times. We take the summaries of those comments to the board when applicable. We take those summaries to department heads when applicable. And those comments have never just disappeared into the ether. So we are reading those, we're passing them on. And for anybody watching at home, that happens every single time. So we are
Sure
constantly.
we're reading them too.
Yeah. And they stay up there on the platform, so you can go back and read them at any time you'd like. Fire sales tax is another education campaign that we have coming up. That'll be a ballot issue into the coming year. Our role as a local government in that is very strict, and we are simply to provide facts. We're not going to tell anybody how to vote, what to think. We just present facts, and that is a function of our community relations team. We've also launched a video series. The first video is out. It's a video with Director Christian Hein. It's talking about what a special district means and how we don't function exactly like a city. Our funds don't necessarily come from the same places. And the goal of this series is just to pull back the curtain be as fully transparent and open as we can. And we have different videos in this series in the works. Next one upcoming shortly, within the next month or two, will be a feature on our utilities department, and then we'll be moving on to our parks department, and we'll continue through that cycle. And this is content that we're designing to be evergreen. We want it to be something we can continually refer people back to. It's not going to have an expiration date, and it's going to serve as a repository of information that will be available to the public.
Is that on YouTube or Facebook?
It'll be on YouTube, yep. Yep. We also run our Alert Center. That is sort of our central communication channel. If you go to our website and scroll down about halfway, you'll see a huge banner there that tells you how to sign up for it, when to sign up for it. I happen to know that the next newsletter that goes out has instructions on how to sign up for it. So we want to make sure that everybody is apprised of what's going on in the district, whether that's a safety concern, road closure, office closure, or anything really that the public might like to know about. If you are a member of the public and you haven't signed up, we'd love to have you sign up. Again, just go to our main website page, scroll down, you will find it. Takes up the whole page when you scroll halfway down. And you can select what type of content you want to see. So you don't have to see everything. You can select only emergency alerts. You can select only road closure alerts. It's all very customizable. We've prioritized being open, available, and transparent. That's been a strong calling card for us. As I've mentioned, we're monitoring our social media channels, and we are engaging with folks. We do also want to reinforce and remind everyone, and we put this out earlier as well, that we do have a vehicle for public comments for these meetings, even if you're not able to attend. So there is an email that you can reach to. It is publiccom, C-O-M, at pueblowestmetro.us. And if that comes to us before the first public comment session, it will get read before at the first public comment session. If it comes in the middle of the meeting, we will read it in the second one. And
Great.
So we do bring those comments forward, as you heard at the first comment session this evening.
So if
yeah.
if somebody's concerned about putting their address in a public comment, can they just say Pueblo West citizen or Pueblo citizen?
I believe it's statute that they need to say their address. I'm not familiar if it's required or not. I know we do for the live, but
Somebody asked me.
Yeah, my understanding is that it can be board requested or directed for whatever information that they would reveal before it. I think we even changed it to be public comment to allow them just to say they're a member of the public and be able to provide it so they wouldn't have to provide their address. I don't recall if there's specifically anything outlined right now stating you have to provide your name and your address. I think that's often requested, but it would be up to the board if they wanted to mandate either or. And I don't think it's mandated at this time.
Okay.
All right, another piece that we do through community relations, we do have direct-to-mail newsletters. This was also an initiative we took from direct feedback. There were folks attending meetings or prior board members who wanted to see direct-mail communications. And at the time we said there's a cost to that, but the response to sending those out has been overwhelmingly positive. I usually know when they've reached homes because Brandy's having a great day because everybody's telling her how wonderful they are. So we send out information through that as well, and we continue to try and build a network of our information so that one points to the other and make sure that we are accessible as humanly possible to everybody in the district. And then we also work on maintaining information in the Transparency Center. So that you can find on our website as well. If you go to our website, search for Transparency Center, it'll get you to the right place. And the Transparency Center has things like our strategic plan for the district. It has financial statements, past budgets. There's a whole lot there that is open and publicly accessible to anybody who wants to look for it. Before I move on, because we do have sort of the three pieces of the department, are there any questions about the community relations piece of our department?
So my personal opinion is that you guys have done a great job and advanced our outreach mechanisms and frequency over the last couple of years, and I know that was a big push by a lot of the members from the previous board. So I'd just like to say thank you. I think you guys are doing awesome.
All right. Next leg of our stool is the economic development piece. Our role in economic development, we have Marcos Reyes, who unfortunately is sick this evening, couldn't be with us, as our economic support specialist. He has been in the district for 5 years, and he's worked with our covenant enforcement team, he's worked with our parks and events team, and so he has a wealth of experience and connections in community with our public, and that's been a great asset to us. Mission for the economic development portion is to enrich the district and its residents by facilitating mutually beneficial economic development. We seek to enact the will of the board and the public with regards to growth, incentives, and bringing life and vibrance to every corner of Pueblo West. The ways we go about that is we are a resource for community and business. You don't have to be buying a piece of land from us in order for us to help you connect with the right people, whether we need to connect you with the Pueblo West Chamber, the Pueblo Chamber. Pueblo Means Business, which is a regional division that has been advancing growth across the Pueblo region, not just Pueblo West. And so we facilitate communications between all of these entities and business owners in the area. We collaborate with our district departments as it relates to opportunities for land acquisitions or sales. We just recently closed on a deal that you all saw over for the reserve, and that was a matter of acquiring some water rights for the district, as well as the land that came with it. And so we spent a lot of time interacting with our utilities department, and they're a great resource for us as well as we're evaluating economic opportunities. We do facilitate land sales of district-owned property, and that is us managing and maintaining the inventory and assets that we currently have, working to match prospective buyers to the best fit for their development and the community. And you've seen us bring presentations forward to that effect so far. And addressing infrastructure requirements early and conclusively. So this is a strategic piece that we have done since the beginning of the year, is we want to make sure that investors know what costs they might be looking at for their development before we simply just sign over the land and then not our problem anymore. We want to see the land transferred, and then we want to see these prospective projects grow and develop. And so we are doing more of our work on the front end to make sure that we have good fits and we don't find ourselves in either party in any regrettable situations. Another piece that we've worked on in economic development is build-out plans and zone management. We've started to look at what we have in our inventory and consider the different regions of Pueblo West that those clusters of properties exist in, so that we can try and be a little more strategic about what we offer and to whom. And so these are internal discussions that we're having as far as the zones of the district. Before moving on to IT, do you have any questions for economic development?
Do you have anything?
No questions. I just think it's kind of been nice to see the direction that we've started moving towards. So, thank you.
Yeah,
So
our pleasure.
Can we get a presentation sometime soon on the build-out plans? We'd love to hear more about that. I think that falls in line with the whole vision and so forth of Pueblo West.
Build out specifically.
Like what?
Looking at our existing needs, projecting future needs, strategizing the zones of the district.
So as it relates to the economic development piece in our inventory,
Correct.
I can have that conversation with you probably fairly soon. I'm going to be on some time out this next week.
Yeah,
and
no
then
worries.
coming back, it's something I've
Sometime
started
soon.
working on. And I do know there's a larger conversation happening across the whole senior leadership team, which is build out.
Right.
And I think we're building towards that more towards the end of the year at the earliest. I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, but
It's part of our strategic plan. I think the actual full build-out draft plans will be submitted probably at the end of this year. We'll probably have 5 years sooner in talking about what those look like, and our master planning and the operational services, which is the fourth priority in that plan,
Yeah.
is being developed and publicly available.
Sorry, I haven't looked at the strategic plan progress in a while.
You're okay.
So the other thing I'd like to mention in terms of economic development is just I'd like as many conversations as possible to be had with the Pueblo West Chamber of Commerce, not just because I'm on the board, but they have the same goals in mind. So it just makes sense to partner with them. I know one thing we've been talking about for a while is placing billboards strategically along trail paths or other accessible areas along Pueblo West to help market our local businesses and increase their traction. That's my fault. I haven't had set that meeting with Christian yet. I think that'd be something that we should have sooner than later, and help our local businesses.
yeah, the
them
more
alive.
connective tissue that we can establish with local and other regional departments and groups, the better.
Great.
I know we've got a good relationship with Pueblo Means Business, and we should be talking to the chamber as well. All right, information technology. This is the most straightforward one. We've got our personnel. We have Chris Bjorson is our Deputy Director of Information Technology. He's behind the screen tonight. We've got John Baker, IT Analyst 2. He's new to us this year, started right at the beginning of the year. And then we have brand new to the district, Chuck, who's also behind the screen tonight, doing all the work of monitoring the soundboard and everything. So we want to welcome him. He'll get his formal welcome later, it seems like. And our mission for IT is to ensure accessibility and high availability of equipment, tools, and services needed for all district staff to perform their duties. We respond with urgency, intentionality, and a great level of internal customer service. So, some of the ways we go about doing that. We manage all the district IT equipment, every computer in front of you, all of the microphones you see, the sound equipment, software. The district is fairly unique, and within our IT team, we've described ourselves as sort of serving 7 or 8 different businesses because each one is so unique with their needs. And the utilities department may have some sort of software we've never heard of in our life that you'll only encounter if you're a local municipal utility provider. And so we have to get in there and troubleshoot and assist and figure out who to call for support on those. Fire department has their unique needs and assets for software and hardware. So we're constantly juggling quite a bit and bouncing from one thing to the other. One day is not the same as the next, which is a blessing and sometimes a curse. But the guys manage this very, very well, and we're really proud of the support that we're able to offer to all the districts, to all the departments. Apologies. We also oversee the website content, the changes and updates. Director Mahaney, we can talk about finding what you need to find. The website is provided by the same provider that does a lot of our civic engagement platforms, so the publishment of the agendas, where we live stream these meetings to on our website. And so we do have a good working rapport with them. And one of the pieces that will be a forever project is maintaining the content of the website, because time marches on, things change, they need to be updated, and so we're constantly going to be making sure we have this budget document uploaded, and we're going to have this bid that's out for request uploaded. And so that's always something we're kind of chasing our tail on. But public, you're encouraged just as well as anybody else. If you find something, curiosity or something that doesn't seem to line up, feel free to reach out to us. You can use any of the channels that you see on our website. We do all the network management. That's the short version is it's the internet. We make the internet go and continue to go. So our servers, our routers, our switches, cabling, access points, virtual private networks so people can work remotely from home or even just a different office if they need to. We do facilitate and iterate on the live streamed content that you're watching right now if you're at home. And I do want to give a big shout out to our team because not everybody may know the journey of our live streamed content, especially going back, if you want to say about 4 years ago. We used to set up one camera and we press start and that was it. And we have come a long way to having multiple camera angles, making sure that we are monitoring the soundboard, having the IT team present in the room. We used to make sure everything was good and then we would leave. That's how it used to be. So I hope everybody appreciates the quality of life improvements that we continue to make incrementally, and working on being able to have board members in remote attendance. These are all pieces that we have to continue to plug in and make sure they don't break other pieces that we have in our infrastructure. So we're very proud of what we're able to put out in that regard. And then we provide security and stability for sensitive information. This is the security piece of IT, cybersecurity. And so we use enterprise level tools that it's not a great idea to tell everybody what tools you use, so I won't. But we have them, and they do a great job. And we work with our third-party vendors to make sure that we're up to date and everything is looking good. Any other questions about IT, or we could go for the whole roundabout there?
How are we doing on finding an internet service provider to provide continuity within the district?
Yeah, so that's an interesting project we had budgeted quite a bit for this year. And it was going to address a couple different things. And the main pain point was the connectivity of our hardware to be on the network at the time of that infrastructure booting up. So we have sites that are on different internet service providers. This site is one of them. And so the idea was we'd get on the same internet service provider. We would no longer have that problem. We managed to find a solution to that problem without having to do any infrastructure investment or requesting for bid, going through many tens of thousands of dollars of expense. And I won't say who did it because they don't want the attention. But we came up with a solution that cost $5,000 instead of $100,000. And so we, at this point, have evaluated if we still need to do that urgently at all. And the answer for us on our team is no, we do not need to right now. We are being served by our providers where we are, and we're going to have conversations with them as we turn over into the new budget year. But those projects we can now evaluate from when it makes sense, instead of expending costs for certain providers to build out to different locations, which they tack on to. They might want to see a 3-year contract or a 5-year contract. As it is right now, we're just rolling with what we have, and we're going to have conversations about making sure the speeds we're getting at the various locations match our needs. So far they have. We're going to double check it either way, and then we won't have a big expense in a project like that in the near future.
I like it.
That's good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Any questions, guys? Good job. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to hang out here when you announce the next thing because I'm going to introduce our next presenter.
Thank you.
I'll try to get it right. I think that's going to be the Purple Heart presentation for additional Purple Heart recognition.
It is, again, Matt Lund, Director of Business Administration. I'm happy to bring forward Howard Massengill. Did I say that right, Howard? Yes, you did. I did it. All right. Howard is the president of the Special Forces Motorcycle Club, and he's going to discuss with you folks some additional recognition for Purple Heart awards.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, Howard.
Thank you. So, Mr. President and board members, the reason I'm here tonight is if you look at the little memo that was handed out earlier, along with a couple business cards of my other non-paying volunteer jobs I have, Pueblo West currently has 3 Purple Heart signs. There's one on South McCulloch when you first turn in by the Taco Bell. There's one at the VFW 5812. And there's one at, I believe it's called Freedom Park, where the flags are, the eagle and stuff like that, right? So, unless you're going to get tacos and wash them down with a beer at the VFW, or go see what flags are flying, you really don't know Pueblo West is a Purple Heart community. So, to give you a little background on this, a friend of mine, when they did the VFW about 2 or 3, 4 years ago, I can't remember, he saw that on TV, and he got busy, and his name is John Bartlett, and he's going to be recognized at the Veterans Rally in Cripple Creek this weekend. But he has put about 90 signs up responsible for getting those in Teller and El Paso County. So we were talking a while back, and he goes, how many does Pueblo West have? And I said, well, we have 3, and none of them are on the main thoroughfare going through Pueblo West, going through our district. There's nothing on Highway 50. So here's my proposal, all right? And if you look at one of these cards, you'll see on the NRA, it's got a SGM, that's Sergeant Major, so I'm very used to people agreeing with what I say. All right.
You're my kind of guy, Howard.
So here's what we're going to do. Here's my proposal. All right. Special Forces Motorcycle Club, we're going to pay for the signs. You're going to make them. I talked to Mr. Riaz about this. I think you have the ability to do it because you made the ones for all the other places. Okay. You make them. We will pay for them. All right. We've already had our chapter meeting where we approved the funds to pay for 2 signs, all right? Then what we're asking the Metro to do is place them at each of the Pueblo West signs on Highway 50, eastbound and westbound, okay? And when Mr. Lund and I talked about this the other day, he was like, how big? Well, I don't know, big enough to see when you're going 65. And I think he came up with
2.5 by 4 is what your picture would
2.5 by 4 is what they would be, okay? And then the Metro District erects the signs, and then we cover them until we have a dedication ceremony. And we had talked about doing it on Veterans Day, November 11th, which is 3 months away, so it should give us plenty of time to do that. If it gets done before then I think that we probably have an opportunity to have a dedication ceremony earlier, because what I also do as the president of the Special Forces Association is we have a ceremony at Memorial Park in Colorado Springs. And as we know, living in Colorado, that November 11th, it can be a beautiful Colorado day, or it can be snowing sideways. And I would prefer to have this done earlier than later. Okay, so if we get the signs made earlier, we can come up with a date to where the board members and as many Purple Heart recipients and military veterans can attend the ceremony. And the one that we're thinking about, the unveiling, is the one that is westbound on the east side, because that one has easier access, I think, a bigger parking area and stuff like that, so we could have more people there. All right, and then we have the dedication, and then after the dedication we have a reception, and I'm leaning toward having that at the VFW. Okay, fun part is, don't know who's going to pay for that yet. I'm going to try to get some donors to do that, so that after the dedication ceremony that we, take these guys that have gotten a Purple Heart, give them a little chow, a little something to drink, and then they go on their merry way. And then the last thing that I ask is that you guys maintain the signs, which should be easy because they're co-located with the Pueblo West signs. Maintain them from basically now until the end of time. All right. And that, I think that is all I have. And the notification of the veterans would be through the Special Forces Motorcycle Club, the Special Forces Association, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, and the Metro District, through all of our Facebook pages, media, stuff like that. Okay. So that's my proposal. That's what I would like to see. And at this moment, I am now open to your questions.
Mr. Pasternak?
Is there any reason that we can't or shouldn't? Well, I guess I'd like to make a motion to just move forward with this now.
Well, don't you think I'm all in favor of this, but there are some details that, like, what's the sign look like? What's it made out of? What are we talking about? I am not against it. I just don't know what they're talking about.
So the signs would look like the ones that are in front of the VFW or when you first come in. They're road signs. They're like speed limit signs, except they're purple. Okay. They have a Purple Heart medal on it, and it says, it'll say like Purple Heart, Pueblo West, Purple Heart Community. So it would recognize the Purple Heart community, or Pueblo West as a Purple Heart community, which I forgot the second part. Okay. This is a proclamation, and this might have been done when the sign was put up at 5812, okay? But what it is, this is basically the proclamation, and you can have someone that is not a knuckle-dragging moron like myself that knows how to do computer stuff, to put, the Pueblo West logo and all that cool stuff on there. We have that proclamation, and then this gets sent to the national headquarters of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, and it would be, at that time, Pueblo West, if we're not already, okay, get recognized as a official Purple Heart community.
So are these metal signs? Is that what I'm?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
They're metal signs.
Metal signs on a single pole, two legs?
So, Christian J. I, District Manager, don't know the answer to those questions.
So I do know the answer to those, because a lot of these dedications that this gentleman, Mr. Bartlett, has done, they're single metal poles. Okay, he's done them up Highway 24 going to Cripple Creek. He's, cemeteries like Evergreen Cemetery. Believe it or not, there's only like 2 places he's been denied, and that is Pikes Peak Military Cemetery and the VA hospital in Colorado Springs.
Wow.
For some reason, they both said no.
Wow.
But 67 going to Cripple Creek, 24, there are signs everywhere, signs on Fort Carson, the Air Force Academy, all this stuff, okay?
Yeah.
So,
I think we're just looking at sustainability, make sure that it's going to last forever.
Right.
yeah, we
Until
want,
the- until the
we
end
want
of
it to
time.
last a long time,
Yeah,
okay?
and with the wind in Pueblo West, I don't know if a single pole would do it.
Would it be?
Quite a few things, if I can cover them real quick.
Sure.
One, appreciate the presentation, appreciate
Thanks.
being able to evaluate and be able to probably follow through with this, because I think, I would imagine a lot of people are supportive and on board. Pueblo West is a Purple Heart community. It does recognize it. Highway 50 is likely CDOT's rights of way, if not county rights of way. And I know for Pueblo West specifically, we no longer have our public works department. I don't know if we have the capability of making the signs like we did probably a few years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'll double check to see if we have those capabilities or if we've been contracting that out with either the county or a third party for it. I would probably recommend, as we have these questions in this conversation, probably good to see it as a presentation and evaluate, and then follow up with something that would be an action after we probably get those details to make sure, one, to the sustainability of what it would look like, and two, what is the logistics behind it. That would be my recommendation, just to make sure we can follow through with that.
Okay.
And I think that
What I can do
pretty accurate.
is I can send Mr. Rios some, I can email him some pictures of some signs and some presentations that have been done, okay? And then he can give them to the board members here and everyone else, so you see what they look like and what you're getting into. And then, yeah, I didn't know about the signs being made. I actually thought that was something that was done here, but
It might have been at the time.
It might have been at the time, yeah.
When we were in charge of the roads, we had access to rights
Right.
of use to issue those permits, and we had our own sign shop. I don't know if we have those capabilities. We don't have the right-of-way use permit ability anymore. I don't know if we have the sign maintenance.
so, all right, so the Pueblo West signs, are they not on Pueblo West property? So
No, I
that
don't
we
think
would
so.
just have to put them up?
I think
Or
they're on
do-
CDOT property, aren't they?
They have a CDOT property?
You're talking about the big ones.
The big signs.
But what I was getting at.
Or do we just do it and ask forgiveness later?
I don't know how much room we have underneath they're on legs. If you put a framework across underneath the sign, between the
Coupled with
legs,
that.
then you can bolt the sign right to our sign. I don't know that then you have any special requests that have to be made.
Using the same.
We can follow up on whatever we're issued if there is a permit associated with it, just to make sure that's capable of doing that.
Yeah.
And then it may not be any additional cost
Okay.
or labor or
Yeah.
anything besides getting the sign itself.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good idea.
No, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to contribute to the after party.
Thank you.
Okay, so just let me know.
I'm good too.
Like I said, and on the two business cards I gave you, though, on the SFA Association one, that email is no good, but the one for the NRA Board of Directors, that HMAS18Z, that is a good email address for me, so you can reach me at any time on that one. And of course, you can call or text on that 0879 number at any time also.
Okay, but you'll be in contact with Christian about, you guys will continue
Yeah,
to
sounds
communicate?
I think we have
Yeah.
a line as far as communication with Marcos Reyes and.
Yes.
So we'll be able to work those
So
details
work it out.
out. And
Okay.
then probably follow up with a presentation with the board to
Okay.
get action on.
All right.
Like you said, especially if the proclamation or any activity is happening November 11th for Veterans Day, we're in a pretty good lead time. So appreciate that.
Sure. All right.
Thank
Thank you
Howard.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to J, action items. Right. Consent to assign digital signage contract, presented by District Manager Christian Hine.
Good evening, Board. Christian J. Hine, District Manager. So before you is a document, consent to assign the billboards or the signage that's currently located in the district. And there is an agreement that already exists with Street Media Group. They are looking to assign it to a new party, Lamar Advertising GP Company. And they have asked us for our consent to assign it. In your packet, you have that staff report, the original agreement, and I believe the consent to assignment itself. A quick snapshot or overview appears in 2020. We worked with Street Media Group to develop that agreement, and you see in that resolution with certain conditions for what they would be able to build and revenue that they would share with us. There was limited or no cost to the district at the time for a lot of that. So worked out with 20% share of gross advertising revenue, which equates to about, on average, $20,000 a year in revenue that we receive. And it gives us also options to use those billboards. This consent to assignment, which we got, I think, word of early to mid last week, is starting as their process of transferring that agreement over and the properties over to this new group. And they are moving through that process and requesting it to be actioned so they can move along with their timetable. I do know that there are parts of the agreement from 2020 that we're still evaluating as far as, I think one board member may have mentioned it, kiosks. I got your question here in a second. Kiosks or something along trails, those were terms identified within the agreement that, to my knowledge or to our knowledge, have not yet come to fruition. I think it seems from most staff recollection who were involved with this that the 2 billboards went up and signage went up as the phase 1, seeing how they would do, and there were talks of what I think it was 2 shelters and 6 kiosks could do across the district, and there were presentations and plans about where they could be located and some evaluation that we'll probably go back through as we're looking at this agreement. The consent to assign itself does not change any conditions or terms of the original agreement. It just changed the party that we would be working with. Excuse me. I did want to bring up, President Vickers asked the question, looking at the design, the original design plans, there was the column with Pueblo West on it, compared to what is there right now, which is the metal column that you can see there. I did try to look and see if there was anything that changed along their process. It appears that they had that design proposed to our board as a concept. I don't think it doesn't necessarily mean it was the final design. They did also bring that to I think the Planning Commission when they were doing theirs. And all I could find within the agreement is that a district liaison could approve whatever the final design was. I have not yet found record of what changed or how that changed and how it got approved. So apologize, I haven't found anything more on that.
Okay.
But right now before you is that consent to assign. Essentially, if approved, just allow them to move forward with transferring that. No other terms or conditions with the agreement would change, and we would start working probably with this new, if assigned, company to be able to develop some of those things that we're seeing as far as additional work that can be done.
So,
To me.
the things that are left undone, the kiosk and whatnot, so what happens with that?
What happens or what happened?
What happened or what is going to happen with the future?
Yeah, to our knowledge, as far as what happened, it's the best recollection is that folks probably started with those big signs and see how they would do, and then the intent was to then identify and move forward. I don't know if there was anything lost or conveyed at any point of a timetable associated with those, but I think it's our due diligence now to follow up now that we see it in the agreement, and I think that's what we would do, whether it was this original agreeer or party or the next one, is to look at what that would look like and start developing plans for it.
Would that be something that they should, the new people should, I mean, I know they'll have the agreement to look at, but be made aware of that it's on our radar, so that...
Yes, I believe they may also be here tonight.
Okay.
So if they did not already, radar is up.
Okay.
So I guess my question to that, without reading the full agreement, is there like a non-compete clause in terms of billboard or signage advertisement in Pueblo West?
Double check. Don't think that there was non-compete. I don't think that others could use those specific signage, from my recollection, but let me...
The signage locations that were outlined?
Right.
Or the kiosks, as you mentioned? Is that?
While you're looking, Carl, can I ask this question? Does this seem like the cart before the horse as far as not having all the other things?
I have not looked at this assignment
Okay.
yet, so
Is
I can't answer your question.
Is it not a good idea to have our district council look at the new agreement or new assignment?
If it's just a straight assignment and none of the underlying conditions have changed,
Okay.
it might not merit
Okay.
a review.
That's good.
It's already been looked at.
The only thing that, just thinking about it without having seen anything about it, is the non-compete issue, location issues.
Additional things that are
Yeah,
supposed to be done.
I just, I don't know without taking a look at it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was just a general question of mine. I don't think it would stop me from
Yeah.
voting on this. It's just, didn't know about it.
I can follow up to be just clear on it. Right now, I'm not seeing anything about the non-compete.
Okay.
And even if there were, assigning it wouldn't change that condition.
Right, right.
Can you elaborate on that? The non-compete?
Just wondering if they have,
Exclusive rights.
yeah, exclusive rights to not just the individual properties that they've outlined as far as potential signage locations, but anywhere throughout Pueblo West. Are they saying that they're the only people allowed to set up billboards or signage?
Yeah, other companies putting in
Yeah.
electronic billboards.
Yeah. Especially since the chamber's looking to do the same.
But like you said, it's the assignment, I guess. It's
Yeah. Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the consent to assignment to Lamar Advertising GP Company LLC.
Since they're here, are they gonna say anything or no?
Not usually during action or discussion. During special presentations, oftentimes we can have somebody to speak. If we could always invite them, but typically they're just here to monitor and if there are questions, be able to speak to them.
Do you guys
And,
want-
and
So
this
if
is the
you-
new company, not the old company.
If you
that I'm
second it,
referencing.
if you second it, then it can be opened up for discussion after the motion's made.
Okay.
So I think with a new company here, and typically during action discussion, if you had a question, I would phone a friend who might be out in the crowd to be able to help with answering that, but they're not presenting tonight.
Okay.
Now I'm confused. Is there somebody here from this new company?
Yes, there is.
Okay, thank you. If we have a question, are you able to answer it?
I'm able to attempt to, yeah.
Okay, so that's the question. So, all right, so we have a motion on the floor. Now I'm going to open it up for discussion. And
Okay.
you have a question.
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure that you guys had an opportunity to ask your questions to him since he's here before we made a decision.
Okay.
That was all. I'm just.
I don't think it's gonna change either way. It's already written. We're just changing ownership.
I could find nothing about the non-compete.
All right, cool. I second.
Okay, I have a motion second to approve the assignment of the digital signage contract. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right, next is Resolution 2025. A resolution by the Pueblo West Board of Directors allowing a variance to the district's rules and regulations regarding a water resource agreement for 653 East Industrial Boulevard, presented by Mr. Matt Lund, the Director of Business Administration.
Thank you, President Vickers, members of the board. Matt Lund, Director of Business Administration, before you again about 653 East Industrial, this time with a resolution. This is, again, a property that we sold to this business in 2024. They are on a property that is just over 5 acres. However, their water usage from their engineer is not sufficient for us to require them to bring water resources to the district. These are discussions we had over the last few board meetings. There were concerns that we wanted to address to make sure that whatever we allowed for this business would be following that property in perpetuity. And so that has been written into the resolution along with a maximum estimated water usage, which is, it would require them to expend 33% over their engineer's estimate to even reach that. However, it will safeguard that nobody takes this property down the road, turns it into a